Clap.
Oh, shoot. Hold on. Shoot. I forgot to turn this.
Technical difficulties. We'll get back to you right now.
Yeah. Oh, one moment, please. That's fine.
All right.
That's just what it is, bro. It is what it is. All right, so we're a few members of Unbound, and we just kind of want to share with you about who Jesus is to us, and maybe even talk a little bit about our own experience about the day or the time or what it was like, kind of just having our life change for the first time and what that experience was like. So I don't know if you kind of want to just kind of quickly introduce yourself. You don't have to go into all kinds of details, but kind of who are you?
Just jump into it. Well,
yeah.
My name's Timmy. I am the bassist for Unbound.
Nice.
That's to get into a little detail. How I met Jesus was when I was like around 11 years old. I was young. I was hungry for something. I wanted to see what a father figure was to me. So
Okay.
that's who Jesus is to me, is a father figure.
Right on. Nice.
My name's Lilu, and this is my husband. I sing in Unbound, and how I met Jesus, or I should say I kind of grew up in a Catholic church, and then from there we went to a Christian church. And I remember my mom one night was watching this preacher on the TV, and he was talking about salvation, and everybody was going up to the front, and I asked her, what is that? And I saw that, and I wanted it too. And I remember asking her all these questions, and it was that night sitting on her bed that she's the one that led me to Christ that night when I was 7. And
Whoa.
so I have a fond memory of that. My mom and I don't have maybe the best relationship.
Did you know that? Sorry, did you know that?
That's the first for me.
Wow. What's funny is that I actually forgot about it. And then I think
Wow.
this past Sunday in church, Pastor Gabriel said something, and I'm like, wait a second. Oh yeah, that's how I remember. That's like my beginning.
Wow.
That when I first started, when I was 7 years old, she was watching this preacher guy on TV, and I hold that very dear to myself, to my heart, because
so you saw an altar call
on
TV, and it
touched
your
me
heart.
At 7 years old. It touched me through the TV.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
awesome.
that's my beginning.
That's
7-year-old, I was just watching like Arthur, The Simpsons. Seriously, but
Some
I guess.
tsunami.
But, okay, but I'm 2 and I play the electric guitar. Well, my parents weren't really Christian, so I came from a different background, so different religion. So
what would that be?
that'd be just shaman. I mean, it's, well, as I grow older to right now, I think it's a lot similar in a different way, I guess. Just because we do believe in a kind of like the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and in Christianity, you believe in the spiritual realm, right? So, and shaman, you do believe in spiritual realm. You believe in there's heaven and there's hell. And at the same time, you also believe in the path, I guess, a path after you're dead. So, and we call it in Hmong, it'd be like date, right? That'd be kind of like English. It would be like, I would say like, I guess, I mean, the closest thing would be just hell. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That you still,
Like the bad place or something?
yeah, like you still travel. Even if you're dead, you still travel in hell. So like, a lot of times you have to have like your not ancestor, but your living family burns money, right? And so you can have money to spend in hell. It's kind of like that.
So is that
Really
the
similar
idea
to-
is that you burn the money and then the money goes down?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
got you.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty.
So
That's very
so the one your loved one that's dead can have money to spend, I guess. But I mean, it's a bit different. You know what I mean? And then I came to Christianity, and well, when I came, it was a little bit different because when I was younger, we went to like churches, but I didn't really believe in churches, or God, because I just went for the food. I was younger, because they come
Nice.
to
That's the
you,
way
like,
to do it, man.
yeah, because they come to your apartment and you're like, oh,
Free
you know what I mean?
food, okay.
Yeah, they'll like pick you up in a van and they're like, we'll take you, and there's free food and there's like arcade games. So you're like, okay, arcades. Yeah, that's like the best thing ever, so you go with your friends and you just mess around, you know what I mean? But then, I mean, it's changed, you know what I mean? And then later on, I came, it wasn't still in the same church, but when I first time I went was when I was younger. It was in a kind of like you would say Caucasian church, and then now I went again. It was a bilingual church, so it's Mexican and then English. So that's kind of like how I kind of just came to be where I'm at now. So
So let me ask you this now: having like a spiritual background, because that is a spiritual background, right? Mm-hmm. Still having a belief like in something spiritual. Did you feel like, okay, I'm growing up, I need to follow this because like this, I believe in this, this is my thing? Because you said you went to church and you didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
But did you still like felt like, okay, so shaman is my cultural, like what I've been taught culturally, I need to follow this because I have to? Or did you feel like you wanted to, or it was just like nothing at all? Like,
well, I think it's nothing at all because a lot of times, like I tell the kids in youth group, right? I think it's the same way. It's like you grow up so much long, you grow up in church, right? So long that it just become norm.
Yeah.
Right. It's something that it's just normal. You know what I mean? You live with it. You see your parents go through it. You know what I mean? And it's just normal, whether you believe it or not. It's just there. You know what I mean? So and shaman, when I growing up, literally like, okay, I see it. My grandma, she does the shaman. She would go to literally go to the underworld. She would say, and then go get your spirit and bring your spirit back so you won't be sick, right? And you experience all that, right? At the same time, it's kind of like, well, it's just normal because your parents doing it. It's not like something that, I'm not saying you don't believe, right? But at the same time, it's just so norm.
So it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go to the store and get you some medicine because you're not feeling well.
Like, just like kind of Mexican and Hmong people were like, okay, 7-Up cure everything, right?
Some vapor rub.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So here you go, you're sick, here's 7-Up. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's just how it is. You know what I mean? And you just believe, okay, it's gonna work, and it's gonna work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other than that, then
okay.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. So from that right to the other extreme. So I'm going to jump around a little bit. So then you kind of came in, kind of borderline youth group yourself, but kind of more on the more adult side of youth group, right? By the time you came to church. And then that's kind of where we met you guys.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what was it that, so you talked about needing like a father figure, and I guess you don't need to be taught that you need that. You just feel the emptiness, right? Like I'm missing something.
Yeah.
So then what do you feel like God used people to fill that, or do you feel like God used like the Holy Spirit kind of, you came to this place where there were people and this, like the Holy Spirit touched your heart, like the way she felt moved, right? Did you feel that, or did you feel like through people kind of God used those people to help you?
I think it was a little bit of both, to be honest. Like, of course I was 11, and when I showed up, it was because of my brother, you know, like my brother, and I came, and to me it was weird. I was like, okay, what's all this stuff here? I'm not used to church. My mom was hardcore Catholic. You believe what you do, just don't drag me down. Don't force me.
So like funerals, Christmas, Easter, maybe you guys visited church?
She did. I stayed at home.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, nope, no thank you.
I was like, games.
Yeah, I just be at home playing my little video games and just do what I do. For me, to be honest, it was actually through when I first came. And then I kind of remember it. I was like, I think it was just the love of everybody there.
Mm.
And then especially the love from like Pastor Gabriel, from you, Theo Angel, and Pastor Mario. And like, so this is what it feels like to be loved by a grown adult, a grown man. So to me, it was like, this is a little weird, but I like it. I want more of it. I don't want to lose this ever again. You know, and I think that's what held me tight. And then seeing your guys' love kind of, I was little, I'm like, okay, if they love me like this, and I imagine the big guy upstairs, all the love he has for me. And that's when like, oh, I'm going to hang on to you, whatever I can. I'm not leaving.
Nice.
So that's what dragged me into it. And to be honest, I'm grateful for that, because to be a dad now, 2 boys, it's
yeah, it's crazy.
It's nice. I love it. Like sometimes I tell my wife, like, how is it possible that a dad leaves his kids? It's so hard.
Man.
Like I can't leave my kids. You know, there's some times where I get in my head, and my kids are hard. Of course, all kids are hard. But then I'm like, my dad messed me up by not being there. I didn't know how to do an engine oil, change a tire, how to treat ladies right. You know, that was all through you guys, Pastor Joanna, who taught me all that. You know, Pastor Tu, how to change the oil and all that. And for that, I'm always grateful, and it will always be, because it's just like, that's to me, that's the perfect example of His perfect love. A random stranger is loving a young 11-year-old kid who they don't even know. Like, you guys didn't know his backstory. You guys just welcome me with open arms, and I'm like, come here, give me some more.
Give me some sugar, bro.
Give me some sugar, man. Don't leave me behind. So I think that was for me most, because I'd seeing my brother have my two older brother and sister have their dad, my little brother have his dad, and then my little sister have their dad. And I was like, what about me? Like, why am I stuck like this? You know, I hated Christmas. I hated every single holiday, because it's like they always went somewhere.
All reminders.
Yeah, it's all just bad reminders. And I was just like, they have their dad, they're happy. I guess I'm no one. And like, it's crazy because you see it more now. I was 11 years old and I was like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
I'm a little kid who doesn't do anything, doesn't do good in school. His mom is always doing something at night. She's always gone. And his brother's into drugs, hardcore drugs, almost a Satanist. Well, practically was a Satanist. His sister was somewhere else. My two little brothers were at their dad's house, and I was a lot of times stuck at home by myself. So I was like, this sucks.
I did stay at your house for quite a bit. You know what I mean?
I remember that because I love those memories, because to be honest, you paid attention to me more than my brother did.
Yeah.
And then for me, that was like, oh, of course I'm not leaving, for sure. You know, and to me, that I love that. And I think that's how the Lord showed me, like, His Holy Spirit and His love when I was at that age, is through everybody in the church and all this beautiful love that He have. For someone like me who was 11 years old, who was already going to be like, forget it, I'm leaving. But like, I'm gonna kill myself, you know? An 11-year-old kid, like, I don't want to be here anymore.
And I hope that, you know, for all of us, like, we can just see that the church is not, I mean, it is definitely not this place filled with perfect people. You know, like, we're all pretty messed up in some way. And I think that that's probably one of the unique things about the church that people get wrong. That a lot of people think you have to clean up or get right or get it together before you go to church, but it's quite the opposite. Like, maybe we've done a bad job, you know, not us as a church, but in general as a global church. Maybe we've done a poor job in, like, thinking that because we want to show up dressed in our Sunday best, that means that we've got it all together. And maybe we've, you know, people from the outside misunderstand that. Like, it doesn't mean because you look good on the outside that you're perfect and you got it all figured out. What our attempt is, I want to present my best as an offering, kind of, in a way, to show God that I care about being here, the way you would want to dress up for an interview, so to speak. Like, you would want to present your best self. So I think that that's just a small thing that we do as an expression of just how grateful we are. And I think people misunderstand that for us trying to be something that we're not. We're not trying to pretend to be something. We're just trying to show God that we care to present ourselves well before Him. And I guess you kind of have to be Christian to understand that, right? That just sounds maybe out of whack or out of pocket from the outside. But on the other side of that, I think people would do better to recognize that we're all there because we need help. Like, we need something, you know, to help us get right. Yeah. I think people would do a good thing by just forgetting about what everybody else is doing and just know that thing that's inside of us that we're missing, right? Even though we can't pinpoint it, like, that's where we go to find it, right? We go to find in our lives now. We understand, like, the Holy Spirit. We need Jesus, right? I didn't know it at the time, but I think we all kind of figured out along the way. So who would you say, Lilu, if somebody were to ask you, who would you say Jesus is to you, like, now?
I would say now it's Jesus is, well, a lot of times personally, I struggle with feeling like I fall short, like, all the time. Like, I'm not good enough, or, you know, I always mess up, or all these things. And so I tend to get in my head a lot in that way, just feeling like I'm just never going to be, you know, that person, or never going to, you know, accomplish anything. And so that's something that always, you know, I struggle with. And so to me, when I get like that, I have to remind myself, like, no, you know, Jesus chose me not for what I was gonna do, not for the person that I think I have to be. You know, Jesus made me because he loved me, despite what I do, despite the things that I do wrong, despite my failures, despite you know if I get angry, or despite anything that I think I have to do. It's just me putting those things on myself. And so to me, he's just like a constant. No matter how I feel, no matter my emotions or what the world tells us that we have to be or do, he's a constant, always never changing, saying like, look, I loved you before you were even made. I loved you, and that's why I made you this way.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's what Jesus is. He's just a constant, even when I struggle or I fail or I beat myself up more than even anybody else does. Like
I feel that for sure.
I'm my biggest worst enemy sometimes. I put myself down more than anybody in my life would, for no reason even. For
I'm not
no
laughing
reason.
at you, but I just understand.
Yeah.
I think we all do that. You know what I mean?
And so when I get too much like that, I have to stop it already and just remember I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be like everybody else. I don't have to be like that person or just remember Jesus made me this way for a reason. My personality, it's okay. How I look, it's okay. This or that, it's okay. Where I'm at in my life, it's okay. And just remember that. And it's hard sometimes. But to me, Jesus is my constant, never changing.
Man.
Yeah.
If I could take anything away from this right here, I think I'll take that away. Jesus is my constant.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I know I needed to hear that. So thank you for sure. Yeah. So that, in a nutshell, for me, I needed that, right? In my life. My life was chaos, total chaos before. And I needed that constant, and I didn't know that I needed that. And so now here we are all these years later. So I come to church, I'm helping out with the youth group. Then you come to church, I'm helping you help us in youth group. And so then now the youth group kids are grown up now and have their own kids, which is kind of wild to think I'm that old now. But now here I am, I get to be a part of something like this. I get to be a part of Unbound, that in what we're trying to accomplish is to introduce Jesus to this, I shouldn't say to the new generation because he knows them, but I would say introduce this next generation to come to know Jesus the way that we know Jesus, right? So that way my constant, your constant, our constant can be their constant.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like suicide is the option or just beating themselves up for no reason, or perhaps they're growing up in this system where they're like, it just is what it is, And so you don't know what's next. You're just kind of living life the best way you know how. And then here we are, we kind of run into Jesus and we find out, man, I didn't even know that this is what I was missing. I just knew I was missing something.
Yeah.
Going back to what you were going to say, what would your message be to the person that doesn't know they need Jesus? The person that is where I once was, where they feel like their life is in chaos, or the person that feels how he felt, that they don't have anybody to love them. What would your message be, or your hope for that person through Unbound?
Well, the reason for Unbound, it's just kind of like a way where I guess when for me, it's just for me to kind of just find God again, I guess, and in a way, because when I was just younger, I'm not saying that my culture was correct or whatever it is, but I just feel like there's something missing, you know what I mean? And there's I just feel like I just need to get out of the system, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I need to get out of the system, and I just feel like, okay, maybe I'm a black sheep, or maybe I'm just not like everybody else who's in that same community, you know what I mean? Because it is a community, you know what I mean? It's the Hmong community is a Hmong community. So back then, it's like I was telling you, before, it was just oh, Denny's, that's the best thing ever. You know what I mean? I'd never been to Denny's, you know what I mean? It was the best thing ever. I'd never been to Denny's in Fresno. I've been in Fresno for my whole life, and I didn't get to experience Denny until I was 20 or 19, I believe. And I was just man, it's the best thing ever, So for Unbound, it's like that, It's kind of not to step out of your community, but to kind of just reevaluate yourself, your relationship with God, and say, hey, you know what? There is something more. You know what I mean? There's something more for me. And I'm not saying that well, church is not enough, but I'm saying it is enough. But at the same time, sometimes a little bit different, it's nice. You know what I mean? Because you're not stuck in the same routine. And same routine just become a routine every day, and then just become kind of like just a bad habit, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's what Unbound is, you know, like just to kind of like step out your comfort zone, break out these four walls, you know what I mean? And to just have a personal relationship that I guess that will fit you, who you are, and what you're going through in life. I think that's what it's all about.
Nice. I like that. You made me think of something. This idea of the black sheep, right? Like you said it, and I've never. I mean, this is just me being ignorant now or naive because you know, obviously you're Hmong, you come from a different culture, but even you just said like it's not that it's your culture, it's just you felt like you needed to break away.
Yeah.
And so I think it's not a cultural thing. It has to do with like in the kingdom of God, like Jesus has his own culture, right? There's a different culture in the kingdom, and that culture covers all other cultures. So until we figure out that we need to be connected with God, we're always going to feel like the black sheep. And so I think that's the beautiful part. Like the church is filled with black sheep.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
We are the black sheep,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we figured out something's not right where we're at. Like we're sticking out, we're standing out because something is not normal. We need something more than this.
Yeah.
Like this lifestyle. It's like getting unplugged from the matrix, you know, like I'm meant for something more than this, but I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
I just know this is not it. You know, so I think that's a cool idea. Like we're all the black sheep. And when we all come together as all the black sheep, we're kind of all covered by God's grace, you know, like, and we're just, like you said, I'm fine the way I look. I'm fine where my life is at right now. I'm fine with who I am. I'm fine with my personality. I'm fine with my character because God created me.
Yeah.
And like, that's enough. You know, that is enough. What do you think? What would you have for somebody that's reaching out and you think Unbound could be that help or that solution to reach out with somebody? What would that be to you? What would that message be?
Let's see. Well, to me, Unbound personally, it's for me. It's like, and I've been going to church and being a Christian for a while, and I've always been on and off. For me, Unbound is a safe zone. It's somewhere where someone my age could be myself there.
How old are you?
I'm 26. Oh, sorry.
I was like, what?
Oh, he's lying.
Hold on a second.
2 years old, younger.
Getting younger by the minute. Little Benjamin Button.
I got the budget button.
Yeah.
That's right. That's how it works with me, at least. No, to me, it's a safe zone. I'm 28 years old. And it's a safe zone. It's somewhere where I could be myself. You know, it's somewhere where I get to be with people that like kind of go through something like I went. Like people that want something more, and they don't see church and they see a bunch of religious people. They see a lot of like you guys, a lot of black sheep of the families. You know, that's what Unbound for me is, and I hope it's like my goal for Unbound is just to reach people who, me personally, on the personal note, is to reach the people who deal with suicide the most, because even as this age, it's still. Those are my walls. Those are my sins. Like I deal with that every once in a while, you know. And this is the place that's only kept me like. The Lord has blessed me with so much, and Unbound is one of those big steps, you know. And it's just to help those people. Like there is another way out. Suicide's not the way, you know. That's my main goal, is to reach those type of people.
Nice.
Because it's. Once you get into first, it sneaks up slowly. It starts into like, okay, I'm fine by myself, and then no one's gonna want me, and then it's gonna be like, I'm sad, and then I'm lonely, now I'm depressed, now I don't want to be next to anybody. Don't touch me. I'm not gonna eat. I don't want to even touch. Don't touch me. Don't call me. Don't do anything. And next thing you know, you're already either getting rope ready or you're getting pills ready, and it's a very scary thought, you know. Like I don't want people out there that think like no one loves me and this is the only way. Where I want Unbound to show those people like there is a place for you. Come over here. We'll love you. The Lord will definitely love you in this place.
Amen to that.
You know.
Man, thank you for that. Man, legit, bro. Thank you for that. What about you? What is
Unbound?
Yeah, how would you say like not that Unbound is the solution, right? But it definitely does something for us. Like, I don't think we'd be a part of it if it didn't do something for us, help us somehow. And now that we have the Lord in our life, now that we have Jesus, how would you want to reach out to somebody using Unbound to help them know Jesus the way that you do now?
Well, I think that a lot of times, kind of like what you were saying earlier, I don't want to say regular church, but like regular service church, it can be kind of intimidating for people that, like you said, they see Christians and all Christians look like this certain way, or you have to be this person, or you have to dress like that, or, or they think that, we're religious or however. But Unbound is completely different because it's full of a whole bunch of random people from different types of life, different ages, different styles, different personalities. You have, his kind of like weird, kind of out there personality. And then you
Just
have...
call me weird. Why?
It's my husband.
That's my wife. I'm mad.
And then, so there's somebody for everybody to click with.
Yeah.
There's somebody for every, young person to meet and be like, hey, I went through that, or, I'm going through that right now. You have people that have kids and you have people that don't have kids.
Yeah.
And so I think it's somewhere comfortable where people come more relaxed already as it is. And it's just like more open to new people. It's not intimidating because, for one, the atmosphere is completely different, and and then you get to have time to spend together to get to know one another. You get to have time to worship and to dance and to however you feel comfortable. Nobody's looking at you. You don't have like, oh man, they're gonna watch how I raise my hands or if I don't raise my hands, And so I don't know. I think it's nice that it's open for all different kinds of people. There's not just like one kind of person that it's for. It's not just like a cookie cutter. You could be whoever you want to be, even coming with your imperfections,
Nice.
even coming, oh, I deal with this. That's okay.
Yep.
I did, or I'm still doing this. That's fine. Bring it. Like, come.
Yeah.
And you can do that. Don't worry about that. God's going to take care of that in his timing. You just come. That's
right.
all.
Man, that's awesome. I think that right there is probably the heart of what people would need to hear.
Yeah.
Like Unbound is a place for everybody. Unbound is a place where you can just come and be loved on. Unbound is a place where you can come and just be yourself, right? Just as you are. You don't have to figure anything out yet. You don't have to fix or change anything. You don't have to look any certain way. You don't have to get your hair cut first.
No.
Like, right? You just come just as you are. And the places you can come and get free food if you want to. If you just want to come for the food, right?
Tacos.
Yeah, for real. There's something powerful, right? Jesus used food all the time.
It happens.
To
It
give,
works.
yeah, to reach and relate to people. So I just man, I appreciate you guys. I hope that, like, for those of you listening, like, I hope that you just hear something that resonates with you. I hope that you know that we love you guys. I hope that you know that we're passionate about what we do. And because we still need God. Like, we still need this. Right? The day that we disconnect from God is the day that things go way bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just hope for everybody listening that you would just be inspired. I pray that you would just find a home with us. If you ever have any questions or you want to know more about Unbound, you can follow us on Instagram at UnboundKWC. You can follow this channel, subscribe for sure. If you want to just keep on listening to content, you can reach out to us through Instagram. You can reach out to us here on YouTube. But more than anything, we just want to connect. Like, we just want to hear from you. We want to know who you are. We want to be able to catch up with you and hang out with you. All right. So God bless you guys. Yeah, let's do that. All right.
oh man.
You made it to the end.
I know.
That was awesome.